Hello, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't watched the AFC predictions, go check that out. We're going to get into the NFC ones. Starting off with the NFC East, Cowboys take 16-1, losing only to the Eagles. The Eagles go 14-3, same as last year. The Giants go 10-7, and the Washington Commanders go 5-11-1, tying with the Rams. I think the Cowboys are going to go 16-1 because Dak Prescott is going to have a bounce back year, and they have one of the best defensive players that I've ever had the pleasure of watching in Micah Parsons, and they added in Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks to complement Trayvon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb to make even better. The Eagles lost C.J. Johnson and Javon Hargrave, but they're replaced with this freak of nature. And I say that's a pretty fair deal, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson will affect them. The Giants added Darren Waller in a trade for pretty cheap, and I think he's going to have a major effect there. But they just have a really hard division, so they can't really get much better than what I gave them. And the Commanders have this as their head coach. I should say enough. And their quarterback situation is still not cemented. But Jacoby Brissett's a good player, so we'll see what happens there. In the NFC North, the Lions, sorry for the typo, go 13-4. The Bears go 7-10. The Vikings go 6-11. And the Packers go 3-14. The Lions have him and him. I think they're both going to command their sides of the ball extremely well. And they both have had success in the past. Jared's led his team to a Super Bowl and really had a good season at the end of last year. And C.J. Johnson obviously made it to the Super Bowl with the Eagles last year. Obviously, it wasn't all him, but the Vikings are going to take a major step backwards because their defense was bad last year, but this year they lose Darius Smith and they lose Pat Peterson. And they didn't really get much compensation for them. The Bears, yes, they got DJ Moore, but he's not going to be enough to turn them around in year one. In year two, I think they will be able to. Not right away off the get-go. And this is the Packers receiver room. If you thought the Chiefs was bad, this is another level of horrible. I've heard of two of these players. And they're all so young. They have no experience. What is there? We have second-year players as your receivers 1 and 2, and the rest of them are all mid. It's a recipe for disaster. Dumpster fire with Matt LaFraud. Come on. In the NFC South, Falcons go 11-6, Saints go 10-7, Bucks go 7-10, and Panthers, to many's surprise, might go 6-11. Falcons added Calais Campbell and Jesse Bates in free agency. Two major needs for them, and they're going to fill out that defense, and they're just going to take off with such a good coach in Arthur Smith. And Kyle Pitts is going to be back, even though I don't think he's as good as people say. He's still a really good and athletic tight end. And Bijan Robinson is a really good running back. And it's just a recipe for greatness. If you're a Saints fan, you have him to thank solely. Your coach is an idiot. But this man, he couldn't do with the Raiders last year. But that team is so much worse than this team. This team has a good defense. It has Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore. You have Chris Olave and Slant Man, who's probably won't even play all that much. And you have Alvin Kamara if he doesn't get put in the slammer or suspended or whatever. But if the team stays and Alvin Kamara doesn't get arrested, this team's going somewhere. These are the Bucs QBs. Big downgrade from Tom Brady. If Brady couldn't do it, they can't do it. But the team is just still too good, and they have too good of wide receivers for me to put them too low. But they won't succeed that well. I think Baker will get swapped out by midseason. And Bryce Young can barely reach the top of that podium. It's pretty sad. How's he supposed to see over his O-line? And this is his only thing that capably translates to any essence of a wide receiver. In the NFC West, the 49ers go 13-4. The LA Rams go 8-1. The Seahawks go 8-9. And the Cardinals join the mysterious club, the infamous, for going winless, 0-17, but the first team to go 0-17. 49ers added Javon Hargrave to their already insane defense. So that's self-explanatory, I feel. Sean McVay's an insanely good coach, and they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, don't forget that. Now they're not the same team, and that's why they miss out on the playoffs, but they're still good enough to have the 500. Geno does not cook. Last year was a miracle. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, so this is one really good year. And this is their head coach, and the rest of their team is inexistent. Besides him, he's their only wide receiver, and Kyler's going to be hurt for most of the season. So I don't even know who's going to be throwing him the ball. And the only other thing they have remotely close to him is James Conner. And on defense, I don't even know, honestly. This would be the playoff seeding if it happened. Cowboys taking the 1 seed, Lions take the 2, Niners and Falcons fill in the 3 and 4, Eagles 5, Giants 6, and Saints take the 7th seed. Thank you for tuning in. Check out the AFC one if you didn't. If you have, check out my other videos if you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good day. Peace.